Hello, everyone. The fireworks are continuing because on the 15th, we're going to have the Mars-Uranus conjunction. Mars-Uranus aspects are usually about how you exercise your free will, how much free will do you have at all. And if you have a conjunction, like on the 15th, you do have free will. So do you, if you have a trine or a sextile, you know how to exercise it, you know how to work with it. And so the same is true if you have, for instance, like a quintile series or septile series. They're brilliant because you don't even pay attention to it. You use it, you utilize it without actually pressuring others. It's interesting if you have a novile, though, which is 40 degrees, which is the aspect of altruism or sacrifice. Then you utilize your Mars Uranus towards others, and you do stuff on your own free will, on your own volition, in order to help others. But if you have a square or an opposition, then you do have a problem because, of course, your Mars is the will, and Uranus is not just freedom urges, but also chaos, anarchy, and all kinds of sudden things. And Mars-Uranus square or opposition may signify that you sometimes overdo it. You don't know how you restrain your own will and you exercise it against others, or you exercise it so that you can create chaos. But luckily, on the 15th, we are going to have a conjunction, which is one of the best aspects you can have with Mars and Uranus. Although I have a trine and I love it. Because even if in the worst moments of my life, I knew that there's a chance that I can actually do something there is an outcome other than others want me to have. There is an outcome that I am creating. Okay, here's a Mars Uranus moment in London on the July the 15th at 15:03 or 4, sorry, so 3:04 in the afternoon. And my question is there free will at all, or do we will what we should? Because that's the true question, whether or not we do have. And that's why I talked to you about Mars Uranus aspects, because if you do have a Mars Uranus aspect, this is an issue for you. If it's a flowing aspect, then you do have it and you can exercise it normally. And if it's a challenging aspect, then it's a true question for you. How much is too much? How little is too little? And how to do it properly. In the London chart, the Scorpio rising with Scorpio moon, so that's one of the focal points, and Mercury is on the mid-heavens. So actually, you can exercise your free will through your emerging soul on the ascendant, and of course, thinking about stuff, Mercury. And as you can see, it's in the 7th house, Mars Uranus, and also Chiron Aries is getting tighter and tighter. There's a beautiful sailboat structure with all this. Let's take a look at the London chart of the sailboat aspect. And this is it. And as you can see, Lilith, revolt against injustice, this is the first turning point in the Lilith myth, is opposite Mars Uranus. So that is the mast of the sailboat. And there is this cardinal water engine. Engines are funny configurations because they are made up by 3 distinctly different aspect family. A square, a trine, and the quincunx. So you have the drive of the square, you have the blessings of the trine, and you have the karmic commitment of the quincunx. And they truly are brilliant configurations because they give you the drive, they give you the push that you might need. And so the end of the mast is the Mars-Uranus conjunction, the free will. And you have a sextile to the sun. So this is a dissolved opposition, this portion of it. But actually it is a cardinal water engine and a dissolved square. This is the portion of the dissolved square. So the focal point is really Mars Uranus, and also the opposite, the tip of the Mars is Lilith, revolt against injustice. Let's take a look at the transcendental objects. We have quite a few, especially on the sun. And if you take a look, if you are interested in politics, especially European politics, and you take a look at the charade that has been happening in the monkey cage called the EU. It is really the audacity of the liberal elite is outstanding, really. I mean, they can't tolerate, the very tolerant liberals can't tolerate any dissonant voice that is not uh, actually parroting what they think about the world. And they're so far removed from the ordinary human beings. They are so not where they should be, and you know, the elites of the EU, the leaders of the EU, really did it quite well, because what they did was they created this European Parliament with almost 800 people, and they pay an exorbitant amount of money for these people, and kind of allow them even to steal, allow them to have shady deals. Look at the main figures. They either have very shady characters, or they actually committed uh, normal crimes that you would be prosecuted if you had committed them. So it's such a dark and horrible bunch of people, really. And the signs that you can see in the EU uh, before actually becoming complete empire, because that's what they want, is I think they are going to fall to pieces. First of all, the euro cannot be withheld anymore, upheld anymore. Sorry, the euro is something that is linked to the. It's not a real money. Let's put it this way. It was the play money for the Germans. Now the Germans are in big, big trouble. They ruined their own economy, and there's nothing they can do about it because it's totally ruined. And so they can't actually uphold the rest of the, especially the Eastern countries, like Greece and also like Spain or Italy. So the pigs countries, Portuguese, Italy, Greece, and Spain. They were called pigs about 10 years or 15 years ago. And because they no longer have the money for it. So they are broke, and they have this horrible economic issue that they don't know how to resolve. They have idiots as leaders. They have no clue what to do, and you can't run a economy on ideology. Believe me, you can't. It will collapse, and this is what you see in Europe actually. And before they actually sink, and this is a sailboat, so it's going to sink, and we, the people, can do something about it so that they really sink and don't come back ever. Before they do, of course, they are flexing their muscles and trying to push us towards their idiotic ideas. So, and that is what you can see in the transcendental celestial objects. On the sun, you have Astarte, it's Ishtar, or Inanna, the love goddess, love and war goddess. And if you think back 2 days or 3 days ago on the Mars or the Venus Pluto opposition, which is the emotional black hole, it's also a financial black hole. I think I forgot to highlight this aspect, because Venus is not just love; it's also money. So here you see Astarte again, and then Odysseus, who is the hero, who is the adventurer. Tisiphone, who is the goddess of revenge, and Zoser, who is the a pharaoh who was building an empire, and also um, how do you call it? Pyramids. Thank you, brain. Okay, and then Pollux, which is Beta Gemini, which is at the moment, although it is called Beta, it's still getting brighter and brighter, while Castor, the Alpha star, is getting dimmer and dimmer. So now at the moment, Pollux is twice as bright actually as the Alpha star, and it denotes the suffering artist, according to Bernadette Brady. On Mars Uranus, you have Pax, free, peace and freedom, Alicanto and Lempo. I spoke about these two centaurs or TNOs in detail. There's a whole movie, a whole video on Alicanto. You can watch it. And Lempo, as I said, is the Finnish creator god who later on in Christian times becomes a demon. And Lempo describes process of how one era's gods and heroes become the other era's villains and devils. And Algol is a star. It is Beta Perseus, which is considered to be the worst. But of course, stars cannot bring anything negative because they are not part of the human era, not part of the human existence, really. They are universal, and because they're out there in the universe, they are not part of the solar system. So actually, we can misuse them, but they can't bring anything negative. It's the strong feminine energy. It's a very, very strong healing power energy. And that is why it was demonized, of course. And on Chiron, you have Pompeia, which kind of hints at the fact that we could actually destroy. We could destroy our own country, our own nation. We could destroy the whole Europe. We are on the brink of it, and we could destroy the whole Earth because it happened already a couple of times. Guinevere, who is King Arthur's wife, so she is the powerful feminine figure. Paracelsus, who is a polymath, and on Aries, drastically altered outward circumstances, you have Demeter, and who is Ceres in Greek times, and Valhalla, the place where the gods are gathering and discussing things. And this is what we should do: really openly discuss things that we are trying to shun. We do have a very nice complex planetary picture at 10, 12 degrees, out of which the most important one is the karmic cage with Ceres at its apex. It's a T-square, really, but when you have a T-square with the nodal axis, we call it, in karmic astrology, we call it a karmic cage. And on opposite it, there's a classic trapeze. Again, you have the nodes and Vesta Jupiter. So those are the focal points. And these are turned, if you take a look at the T-square and the classic trapeze, when you see that, it's always a diamond cut. It's a very complex configuration. When you do have such a complex planetary picture, it is much easier to look at the whole and try to understand its parts as a whole. The moon, of course, is your spiritual essence. It is rising in the London chart. The nodal axis is what you bring in from previous incarnations, Libra, and what you need to learn in this particular moment in time. Aries, fight for what is due, what is yours. Ceres is the nurturing principle, so your home, your homeland, your nation, your own home, and your own family. And Vesta is the focusing principle, and Jupiter is luck and expansion. So those are the main points. And of course, we can look further because there's a number of engines. There's a fixed fire engine and a cardinal fire engine, and a couple of others as well. And these two are turned into a 10th trapeze with the moon, Ceres, the North Node, and Vesta. And there are some Yod's fingers of fate as well, actually, 3 of them. 1, 2, hold on. 1 is Jupiter, Moon, Ceres. 2 is Moon, North Node, Jupiter. And 3 is Ceres, Vesta, Jupiter. You can see, so if you can do 2 things with complex planetary pictures. You can take them apart and look at these configurations separately, or you can look at the big picture. Either of the methods is brilliant, really. It doesn't really matter, whatever suits you. Here are the transcendental celestial objects, and before we actually look at them, because on the moon you have 2 bright stars. The moon is currently at 12 degrees Scorpio, and at 12 degrees Scorpio you have 2 bright stars, really bright stars, Alphecca and Acrux, but they are very different, but at the same degree. Here's the planetarium picture. You can actually see, here's the moon in Scorpio, below the ecliptic, by the way, around 19 degrees minus on the southern hemisphere. And as you can see, Alphecca, which is the Alpha Corona Borealis, and Corona Borealis is the feminine crown. It's the whole constellation is about feminine happiness and fertility. And Alphecca is the crown, the tip of the crown. So it's a very feminine world and a very happy world. And a crux, on the other hand, is the Southern Cross. You can never see it from the Northern Hemisphere. Unfortunately, it's a beautiful constellation. And our crux, Alpha Crux, is what symbolizes the cross of matter that I'm taking upon myself when I come into a physical body. So actually, these two bright stars are linked to human existence, where I want pleasure, but at the same time, I accept my duties and my burdens as well. And the moon is at the moment aligned with both of them. Nothing can ever be conjunct, either Alpheka or a crux, really, in the declinations, only in the longitude. So let's get back to the rest of the transcendental objects. On the north node, we have astronomia, look up the sky sometimes, and Salatia, which is one of the so-called Atlantean karma symbols. Salatia is linked to Atlantean karma, and it's quite funny because at the moment we are very, very close again to ruin everything that we have built up so far. So it kind of hints at the fact that we should really, really make wise decisions. On the north, that's on the north node. On the south node, you have Logos, creation through words, and two, again, very bright stars, Windometrix, which is Epsilon Virgo, and Diadem, which is Alpha Coma Berenice. Windometrix denotes the pleasures, the earthly pleasures of the Virgin, the celestial Virgin, as opposed to the Psyche, which gives you it's the life giver, it's the nurturer, and Diadem is where our silently done sacrifices are gathering. It's very funny because up there you have repositories. Everyone has money up there. Everyone has free will up there. Everyone has a repository of good deeds and sacrifices, and that is Diadem. So you could actually tap into it, and you can take down those energies if you need them. And this is on the south node, so it's very much linked to your past. And on Ceres, you have Electra, the princess who wants revenge, but of course doesn't do it on her own. She asks her little brother to kill their mother. And Nunki, which is the belly button of the Sagittarius, the celestial archer, and it is the power, the central power of everyone. If you think about your solar plexus, symbolized by the belly button, usually that is where the seat of your energy is usually. That's where it can be found. And on Vesta you have Tantalus, which again symbolizes that there are horrible, really horrible things happening in the world, injustices, torture, all kinds of stuff, and we should really put an end to it. So that's the Mars-Uranus conjunction. Hope you will be able to utilize it well. It's a brilliant aspect, and it teaches you how to always stand up for your will, but at the same time, not push it over the limit. It's quite difficult, believe me. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.